Today, let's talk about Project Bridge, which has to do with the UAE, Thailand, China, and Hong Kong, and how this is tying into BRICS and Ripple and XRP and gold and silver and all kinds of things that I talk about a lot that are very likely the future of the economy, and especially with trade, because people are wanting to move away from having to use the USD. So, in a previous video I made, which was actually here, if you're interested in that, I was able to make direct connections with Thailand, Hong Kong, and China to Ripple and XRP. I just couldn't find one at the time. But then about 2 weeks after that, I found a direct connection with the UAE into Ripple and therefore XRP. So Ripple and XRP are directly connected to the financial institutions in these countries that are trying to create a cross-border CBDC. And so here is the actual BIS update from October 2023 about Project Enbridge. Excuse me. And it is a multi CBDC common platform for wholesale cross-border payments, concentrating on the use of international trade, which has the potential to connect central banks and commercial banks around the world as a public good. Trade finance obviously reminds me of XDC, and a wholesale CBDC and cross-border payments obviously sounds a lot like what XRP is trying to accomplish. So it does have some more information in here, but that's not really what I was wanting to cover. I mean, it talks about an EVM compatible solution, which could be XDC, and it could even be XRP, because they actually have an XRPL out, an XRPL amendment for XRP side chains. I forget what number it is. I think it's XLS 38D off the top of my head, but that is an interesting connection into the two projects that are directly concentrating on the two main points in this explanation of what Enbridge actually is. So here from Mr. Man XRP, he found a PDF that has to do with the difficult realities of BRICS de-dollarization efforts, that actually directly calls out Project Enbridge as a way to conduct payments, and it also shows the attractiveness of foreign currency for cross-border payments outside of the US. So I was able to find that, and on page 10 it actually calls out Project Enbridge, and it says blah 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 P. So that's China, UAE, as well as a digital currency cooperation memorandum of understanding between a Chinese-owned bank and a large Emirati bank, so that's the UAE, an ongoing central bank digital currency project called Enbridge, co-led by China and UAE central banks, reportedly piloted renminbi payments for oil and gas in late 2022. This is basically just another name for the Chinese yuan. I don't really understand why it actually has a different name, but it has a different name. So it has a lot of other information in here. So it calls out BRICS and SWIFT a lot, which is probably a dumb point to make because it's actually talking about BRICS here, but it is concentrating on the role of the Chinese currency. And here I found another interesting one that, in my mind, directly goes and ties back to not only BRICS and how Ripple and XRP are connected into a lot of those countries, but with things that I have found in the past about XRP, XLM, and XDC that have to do with the tokenization of gold. And I did make one video a while back now that was off of a map put together by the XX account that was talking about the tokenization of gold with sovereign gold bonds over in India, and how these three Indian banks actually connect to XRP and to XLM. So it is just another connection to show that while I'm not saying that XRP is or will be backed by gold, it is entirely possible to tokenize commodities and represent that value on chain. And I don't know why that is such an inflammatory topic, especially for XRP. It seems like whenever you hear anyone say that XRP can be gold gold backed, it causes a lot of attacks, and I don't think that's the best way to explain it. I don't think saying XRP will be gold backed is the best way of explaining it. I think it is that it can be, and some XRP can be, because I don't think all of XRP will. I mean, obviously, but they are connected with too many different people who are very interested in moving away from the USD, and a lot of these BRICS countries, in particular China, have been accumulating a lot of gold, and it's just one of those things where it's not directly published, so a lot of people tend to say that it's not happening, but that's just not how the world works, and that's not how the control of the world actually works. They don't really let you know what they are working on for years and years and years and years until everything is 110% done. So this is actually from a white paper or a review that talks about, for example, a card holder could hold gold balances on Ripple, which is XRP, that are backed by physical gold bullion at a Ripple gateway. Now, I found this, and of course it says that here, and it is from a Ripple Labs document, I think from 2014, yeah. So it is a deep dive for financial professionals, and it has tons and tons of information in here. It is old, obviously, but there's not a lot about this that has actually changed, except for what they actually call things. So it is another connection that just kind of makes sense in my mind, at least. So does XRP have a reference pegged to it? We've all heard it's an unbacked crypto, but if there was evidence to suggest the opposite, could you actually comprehend that? Now, I agree with him on a lot of things, in particular the tokenization of gold, and how XRP is very likely being used by financial institutions with R3 Corda, just because of all of the very deep connections that Ripple and XRP have into those financial institutions and that there's publicly available code. And why would they not want to use XRP in the R3 Corda platform if they are already likely much more familiar with XRP than they are XDC? But that's not the point here. It's just that once again, I don't think there's any direct evidence out there other than all of these connections that one can make if they begin to ask more questions and look at how the world, if one can just be an adult and look at things objectively and begin to put some things together that are very likely. So this is a video about the tokenization of gold by Comtech, which I actually did a video on this, and I had to chop it up into two parts just because my computer was having issues. But I did talk about R3 tokenizing gold with HSBC, and in this video it talks about Comtech as well. So these are two companies that have direct connections to not only XDC but to XRP. And so if you just look at the Comtech site, you have your smart contract address here, and it actually calls out it is built on the XDC network, and you have XDC here. Propine is involved with XDC on a lot of things. So it's just that there are so many conversations to be had around the actual tokenization of gold and how that can come into these BRICS countries as they want to move away from conducting international trade with the USD.